Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel Twist&Turn. You're still with your boy Onevo, and on today's video, before we get to it, I'd like to say, if it's your first time joining us, thank you very much for your support, for your recognition, everything that you've done for us. Thank you very much for watching the video. And if you are our regular subscriber, feel at home. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. And on today's video, I want to talk about this AKA and Tibz matter that occurred on the 10th of February 2023. Yes, there's a lot that has been said about the matter of AKA and Tibelo. And if you remember very well, on the 10th of February 2023, that's when we received the news. We saw that footage of AKA and Tibz being shot. It was circulating widely on social media, Twitter, almost everywhere. That footage was everywhere. And it was such a traumatic and a tragic incident that happened to them. So now, on the 27th of February this year, that is when we heard of those people who were involved in that shooting, that they had been arrested. We saw the SAPS media briefing, Minister Pegicele and General, I don't know how to title him, I forgot the title, but Unhlanhla Mkhwanazi updating the public on that crime which happened on the 10th of February. Now, at the time when we heard those news, we were happy as a country, and the people who used to consume the content that AKA would, because he was a musician. I, for one, I'm not gonna lie, I was not a fan, but I liked the music that he did. The one song that I liked was Fela in Versace. So now, during all that, a lot has happened. And remember that while all those things were happening, there were so many rumors and allegations and whatnot that were transpiring, that were coming up. But I'm not going to deal or dive into those on this video. And then on the 26th February 2024, here's what happened. The Royal Eswatini Police Services, the REPS, arrested two accused of the AKA and Tibz murder. While that was happening, remember, at the time when this was happening, Ngapi, South Africa, everything went quiet. Everything was quiet, in fact, so to speak. We only heard the noise after the publication, the media publication from the side of Eswatini broke the story. And that's when there was noise about the arrest of the suspects that were involved in the murder of AKA and Tibz. The Eswatini publication, The Times of Swaziland, broke the story about the alleged hitmen from Durban, that they were arrested. That was not all. There's also the issue of money, because if you remember very well, AKA and Tibz, it involved people who were paid. They were contract killers. So now the Eswatini media publication, that Times of Swaziland, broke that story, and I've never got articles to read them as such, but I got a gist of what was reported on those allegations from the news that we were consuming this side of SA. It also revealed that the pair were paid 133,000 rands for their parts, for participating in the murder of AKA. And when I look at it, to me it seems as if Tibelo was not a target, and this whole case is now centered around AKA, because he was a public figure, he was a celebrity, and he didn't die alone. There's two people who lost their lives on that day. There's two people who lost their lives, AKA and Tibelo. But it seems as if we forget about Tibelo and we are focusing mainly on AKA. Still in Eswatini, Usiyabonga, Nomalusi, Imande. Those are the accused who are arrested and who are that side of Eswatini. When they were, because currently they are still busy with their application for bail and everything is still being verified. Everything's still being verified, and they are busy attending the trial, the court for their bail to be approved. But on the other hand, these guys are determined to oppose the extradition application that was signed by Ronald Lamola, so that those guys could be brought back and face their charges and join their friends who are standing in the dock currently right now. And I don't know what yini mhlambe engayisho on this issue, but for me, with them that side handing in an application to oppose extradition, exactly what are they running for? Because they are accused of the murder that happened this side, but now they are in Eswatini and they are determined not to come back. In fact, the way I see it, it seems as if they don't want to come back because they know they know what they've done. But I can't prove that. And the only people who are capable of proving that is the courts that we have here in this country, but they don't want to come back. And I'm not gonna take their side or take the side of the state. Fact is, they don't want to come back. They are still yet to appear as the case advances. Those are the guys who are in Eswatini. Still on this case, remember there's this character that I'm going to bring up now, Anwar Khan. If you remember very well, Anwar Khan is one of the guys who used to be a bodyguard, AKA. And I remember at some point I watched an interview on a podcast, and he was explaining the details, the things that went wrong on the day when AKA was taken out that day. If you look at the list of the people he protected in the past, Shange list A-listers. Well, that's not the issue. He was doing his job. He's allowed to do whatever he can and render the services that he provides when and where he feels like doing it, provided he's got the clients to do that. But now there's more on Anwar Khan. I read an article on IOL that Anwar Khan is among the accused in the University of Fort Hare on fraud and corruption charges. That's not all. That's the beginning. On top of that, there are charges of murder where the university's fleet manager was gunned down. You understand? So that is why there's noise, especially if you can go and check the stuff that is coming up in terms of that University of Fort Hare. You wouldn't miss this part, that there is someone who is linked in the case, AKA. Not that linked because he did the crime on AKA. No, he did crime, but also he was participating not as a criminal in that instance, but we are talking about Anwar Khan. He's a bodyguard. He was protecting AKA, but now he's implicated in charges of fraud and corruption, and there's more on those charges because there's also charges of murder and kidnapping, and it's a lot. In January 2023, a Vice Chancellor and Principal Sakela Buhlungu's bodyguard was shot and killed in a suspected missed hit on the councillor. So you can see, and there are so many names that were mentioned. Because at some point, I think the Minister of Health at that time, Aaron Motsoaledi, was implicated. And also there was, there's a lot. I'm talking about top dogs now. Talking about the gurus. They were involved in that. Let's leave that as it is. I don't know what's your take on it. But there's a lot that is happening. If you take a case yase Fort Hair and you take a case yaka AKA and Tibz, a lot is coming up. Because it seems to me as if when the police arrest people, they make sure that they try to look for other cases that they can link you with so that they can go parallel with the main case oboshelwe yona as ngibona ngakhona. Because even in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, you'll see that the accused, before they face the main charge, also amanye ama-charges that they are linked with, now they are brought up. Noma ngabe uyaphunyuka la, sesekhona amanye, let's see how you fight those ones. Now let's leave that and see what the family ka Anele Tembe had to say. Shocking claims had emerged in a letter from Anele Tembe's family to the NPA stating that AKA pushed Anele to her death in 2021. And this is very sad because no one was prosecuted for that. Imagine seeing your daughter on TV covered in a foil paper and no one is prosecuted. And they say that she jumped and there's no proof to jumpile or pushiwe. And like, for me, the way ngibona ngakhona this part, I'm not saying that's how things happen. This is me allegedly stating that the way ngibona ngakhona, it is as if there was a cover-up, same as in the case yaka Senzo Meyiwa. There's a lot that has happened there, because how can one case have two dockets? Let's leave that. We'll get to it when we make that video that focuses on mainly on the issue yaka Kelly no Senzo. No one was prosecuted for Anele having died after it is said that she jumped, but we don't know. And at the same time, there were videos that were leaked on social media showing the couple having a quarrel and fighting, and it's not a nice picture. And there were some people who were also saying that that relationship was toxic. And at some point, I think I heard AKA say that that relationship shouldn't have happened. In an interview on another podcast, I forgot the name of that podcast. Moses Tembe released a public statement regarding the death of AKA, as well as the allegations that he had a hand in the musician's murder. Remember, Ubaba Anele Tembe was also suspected by the courts of public opinion. Us, as a public court of public opinion, we were putting 2 and 2 together when we were coming up with 4. And it is said that Moses Tembe released a public statement regarding the death of AKA, as well as the allegations that he had a hand in the musician's murder. In fact, the man was clearing his name. Not sure if he was involved or not. I'm not a police, can't even prove that. So everything that I would say about that is allegedly. Several months have passed since the announcement of the inquest, but there's been slow progress. Izinto zibahambela kancane, and they are still in pain because they lost their kids. Both families, in fact, family ka AKA, family ka Anele Tembe, both lost their loved ones. They lost their kids. And I can imagine how it feels like ukuthi someone in your family dies and you want justice to be served, but nothing happens, and you want answers and answers are not coming. And then in the end, both parties end up dying. So what's going to be the story now? How are things going to turn out? Because AKA and Anele are both late now. Even if they do get the answers, what's that gonna do? Because whether they get the answers or not, they ain't coming back. They're gone. I think there's a lot of foul play that has taken place on this case, but I can't say for sure. I can't say for sure at this point for me to even say that. It's just mere speculation and allegations. The family was complaining about the fact that there was no prosecution. Just days after AKA was gunned down, NPA released a statement saying it would not prosecute anyone for Anele's death. Imagine. your daughter has passed, you're still waiting for answers, and then they hit you with that on the face. What does that say? Which is the reason why maybe we heard those rumors that Anele's father was, or rather had a hand in the death of AKA. I'm not saying that's for sure, which is maybe why we were having those rumors going around that Anele's father had a hand in the death of AKA. As of now, there's been a library that was opened in Durban Girls College to honor the name of Anele Tembe. As for this video, I'm going to leave this for now. We'll keep digging and we'll keep on checking on what is coming up on this case as they both progress, because still AKA, if I were to say, it's still in its early stages. The trial hasn't even begun. The accused are still busy with the issue of bail and whatnot, and we still have that prosecution, that extradition that still has to be approved for those ones who are there in Swazini, Siyabonga no this brother, then demand the brothers, so that they could be brought back, and then then maybe at that point we'll have a progress onto how things are going to be laid out, and they are going to progress as the time goes on. So until then, stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in up to this far, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you on the next upload. Take care. Peace.